Watcher, and welcome back to the dream. Turn 4. I've got level 2 in enchantment, and I'm moving on to alteration. Level 2 in enchantment allows me to get personal regeneration, which is very useful. Alteration allows me to cast buffs. Since I get 6 units to a square, point buffing squares of Rimvetti is going to be great. Ulm has proclaimed a prophet, not renamed it, but whatever. Then there are some assassination battles. My prophet tends to smite people, which usually means turn 1 he does enough damage to wipe somebody out, particularly a low magic resistance barbarian chief. My regular assassins tend to wander up and stab people, and in this case my assassin stabs that guy with no trouble. But in this case, I think, my assassin gets repelled, takes a single point of damage, and picks up battle fright, which is shitty for an assassin, because if they run away in an assassination, they die. He wins a battle, and stabs the barbarian chief. So that's a province where I've killed 3 barbarian chiefs. There was a battle in Dragon Ridge. This is a regular expansion battle. I've got my wolf riders running in. They should be set to attack rear, but okay, one bunch caught the militia and whacked them. The other bunch seems to be having a very hard time killing these commanders, which is a shame because if they just snipe the commanders, it will be a very easy battle. But they do win and take some casualties. Nearly a third of them die, which I don't like, but I will have to live with. I got an unexpected event in the province I just took. I got some air gems. Nice. And I got a hero turned up. He's this guy. My Wolf Lord. Normally, my little guys are sitting on wolves and they're size 2. This guy is on a wolf the size of a horse. He's size 3. He doesn't have shoes, but he has 3 misc slots, which is excellent. I should be able to buff his strength. He's also, being a worthy hero, got a hero spear, which does 14 damage, tripled against larger beings. He's not very big himself, he's only size 3. So that, with some strength buffs, is maybe going to be able to whack a Laestrygonian tyrant, particularly given his defense is pretty high because he's cavalry. I can now see a couple of extra provinces. I'm not thrilled that the Plains province to the north of the one that I've just taken has heavy cav and crossbows. I'm not very keen on that. The province to its west has heavy infantry and also heavy cav, but I think it's going to be easier. So what I'm doing is sending my initial expansion army and adding to it my poultry recruits from the province that I took in my first expansion and hoping I take that one. My script is pretty simple. My wolf riders and regular units are marching straight ahead and hopefully tying up everybody, while my auxiliaries are sniping the back. We'll see how that goes. I'm sending my starting commander to take the barbarian province to my north. I'm also setting my 3 assassins there to try and assassinate. There's 50 barbarians, so there could be more than 3 commanders. I should, perhaps, have been prioritizing the farm to its east, which I can now see is worth nearly 200 gold. I really should be trying to get there as soon as possible. That may be why I'm being a bit less cautious with this Plains, where I've only got 1 assassin hoping to soften the province up. At the time, I thought that the squad of a commander that had been killed would rout. This is not the case. An entire army will rout when the whole of its leadership is gone. Otherwise, they'll still be on the field. I'm continuing to recruit wolf riders in the forest, and in my capital, I've switched to wolf brothers, which are more expensive but better troops. It may be better to get 15 wolf riders instead of 11 wolf brothers, but I'm far too lazy to do the maths on that, so too bad. I will switch to my sacreds later, but I'm going to be in heat for a while, so I don't see that I can use them without wasting their gold cost because they're going to die. I still don't know who my neighbours are, but I'm sure I'll find out soon enough. Turn 5. The 3 assassins I left in the Barbarian province did not find any enemy commanders. That because no leadership, so they routed. It's a net win, but 3 wasted assassination turns, so I did succeed in assassinating one of the commanders in the plains, but as you can see, I simply didn't have enough stuff. 10 goblins against 50 humans, unfortunately, is not going to fly unless they're in Vaettiheim in Gold 3, but these weren't. The battle worth watching is the one in Curtain Wall. My plan was to have all my troops holding up the heavy cavalry while my little auxiliary troop killed the commanders in the back. And it more or less works, although I do take fairly heavy casualties. And it works by routing. And mostly because these 2 dudes, who are my commanders, are not doing the whole retreating thing. They're killing as many dudes as they can. So it does work, it's just not great, and I take heavy attrition, both in the battle itself and on the retreat, where most of my dudes died because they can only retreat to one province. I'm moving my trio of assassins to the rich farmland to start working on that. I've got 2 assassins in place in the plains, so I'm sending a really tiny force, who's set to retreat if the Stabbing doesn't go as planned. I want to have a look at who my neighbour is to the north and what they're up to. The chances are they're going for this farmland on our border, but who knows. I'm sending my new hero with 5 squares of wolf riders into the cave, where I'm hoping they'll take care of my goblin cousins the back I'm going to show. They're quite dangerous, but I need to get down south so I can start pressing my borders there. Because I took such high attrition in the province to the northeast, I'm having to sneak into the lizards, and also the lizards are dangerous, and send a commander back to my forest. The 2 forests, I'm recruiting wolf riders because that's what I can afford, and in my capital I've started to recruit my sacreds, and I'm still trying to recruit some expensive wolf brothers. And another commander, but this time this guy, a Vaettiheim. He's Nature 1 Holy One. He'll be useful to make the cheap forest forts that I've got. He can summon allies, but he only gets a couple of walls, and I don't think it's worth his turns. Because I took an adjacent province, I can now see that the throne to my northwest has a monolith and a lot of watchers, so I'm not taking that in a hurry. I still don't know who my neighbours are. I've been talking to the player of Tenchi because he's playing Calum in my Abyssia game. I'm about to end a nap with him there, but I hope that won't affect things. Turn 6, and things started to heat up. I have Alteration 2, and I'm going to Alt 3 to get Moss Body. Then I have 2 assassination attempts, and they both fail. I'm honestly very unlucky here. In both cases I hit with the Dusk Dagger and caused profuse bleeding. In both cases I missed with the Poison Dagger and so didn't poison them. And in both cases the Indie Commander stopped bleeding the turn after he killed my guy, thus not dying himself. So predictably, my attempt to take that province fails miserably. Fortunately, everybody survived the retreat. We have a battle in the cave. Here it's goblin on goblin action as my wolf riders rush forward, including my hero, and they kill... Oh, one of them made it to the back and sniped the commander, so that's good. Everybody else is routed. My hero got a couple of kills, and we win the battle. Nice. I have a couple of luck events. One gives me a bunch of gems, that's excellent. And one is unfortunate, gives me misfortune and unrest. My dominion hadn't spread into the cave, so luck makes it more likely for events to happen based on the scales in my capital. The scales in the province where the event takes place, though, determine whether it's a lucky or unlucky event. And then we see a battle where Mictlan tries to take the rich farmland. He's failed and lost 6 sacreds. How did he do that? Mictlan has 2 squads of Jaguar warriors. They're good units, but there's only 2 of them without afflictions, and breaking them into 2 squads like this means that they're more vulnerable to routing. The Indies, by comparison, have a load of heavy cavalry and crossbows. I don't think this is going to go well for Mictlan. And indeed, the Jaguar warriors are routing. And the Indies are routing too, but yeah, Mictlan is going to make it off the field before the cavalry does. I'm hoping to kill a load of commanders with assassins, and I'm sending a troop in because I need that province right now. I haven't got a great force, but I got to try and take it now. The plains where I just failed, I'm going to have to send my hero in. I could be sending them down to take the farm on my border with Atlantis, who has also appeared. However, I've talked to Atlantis. We've agreed that that province will be mine. The opposite farm, which will almost certainly be worth more, is his. I'm in a relatively weak position. It's turn 6 and I've only got 6 provinces. He's extremely wealthy. He's been snapping up all the mercenaries that exist. So I think he's quite a lot stronger than me. I'm also trying to take the Lizard province, the swamp, to my west. A starting army that snuck in last turn is joining a small group of Wolf Rider reinforcements from the forest. I have not scripted these Wolf Riders, and that's a flat-out mistake, which means that I'm probably not going to take this province. My recruitment is still Wolf Brothers and Vaettiheim, but I'm at last recruiting a mage. I'm sending my new Vaettiheim into the forest to the south, where he will build a lab for me, and I'll be able to recruit my cheap hag mages in the forest. In other news, I can now see that Midgard is to my west. So we have Midgard to my west, Mictlan to my north, Atlantis to my south. I still don't know who is to my east. Mictlan is definitely being aggressive. Midgard I haven't spoken to yet, but hasn't expanded towards me so far, but it's fairly scary. And Atlantis, I'm just glad that they're not attacking me. I have seeded the idea that they have ice forts and maybe they'd like someone to cast Illwinter, and that would be me. So, hopefully I'll be cordial with my froggy friends. We shall see. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.